morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Thursday, which means we've got a list of 13 things. Today, it's the most expensive places to live, not inclling all of Switzerland. Actually including all of Switzerland. Sorry, spoiler on the list.
Most expensive
Most of Switzerland. Yeah. Globally. And also some general news stories to update you on what's going on the news cycle. This is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter news podcast where we look up our stories right before the show has started. We've just got caffeine in our bodies and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. Let's get into those Thursday headlines and spin that segue wheel. Today on Thursday's 13. Audio leak fuels concerns Hungary undermined Ukraine's EU bid before the vote. Surprise! I don't know. I'm not surprised.
Was it the one headline? So it's my headline. And greetings from the U.S. on Thursday. Oil companies accused of massive accounting fraud in New Mexico, and Democrats trounce again in elections.
Prison sentence and psychiatric detention demanded in a major sextortion case in the Netherlands. Police launch campaign.
And today we count down the most expensive cities in the world. This world, the one we live on.
In my culture news, from Nirvana to Tracy Chapman, a fan's recordings of over 10,000 concerts are being preserved online.
And it's National Chicken Little Awareness Day and National Unicorn Day. So the sky is falling, but at least we got unicorns on April 9th, 2026 on Before Coffee. It's April.
Look in the sky. What is it? The sky is falling. I've never actually seen that film. I think, what was it, a DreamWorks film or a Pixar's film about Chicken Little? And then it was aliens the whole time, I think, is the big reveal.
I know it's a children's book with Henny Penny.
Yeah. And, what was the lesson from Chicken Little? To believe people even if they lie all the time?
Doom and gloom. No, that was the lesson from The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
You're
Boy
right.
Who Cried Wolf was like, Chicken Little was like, what do you, like,
don't be paranoid about, the world ending, because you're better off living your life happily than worrying about something that might never happen. Yeah.
Isn't that Cassandra's always seen disaster everywhere, right? So yeah, kind of like that.
The Greek goddess or whatever, Cassandra?
Yeah. I think he was always predicting disaster, but actually making them too. So I guess, yeah.
She's self-fulfilling prophecy, Cassandra, right there.
I think our ship is going to crash into the rocks. You better listen to her.
She's going to make it happen. So watch out.
Be happy.
Our first segue is a limerick. So I guess put your whiteboard down because you're going to need to get your notebook out.
No, I got it. You better talk.
It's only one story.
Slow brain.
It's only one story.
Okay. There once was a man from Nantucket.
This story is coming out of, Hungary, from the Kyiv Post by TVP World. Hungary's foreign minister offered to send his Russian counterpart a document about Ukraine's EU accession process, which means if you know the rules, you're able to stop the rules from happening. Yep. Leaked recordings purported to show on Wednesday, yesterday the 8th of April, in the latest indication of Budapest's warm relations with Moscow. The audio clips released by a consortium of investigative news outlets, including vsquare.org, were the latest in a series of leaked conversations that purport to show how Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban's government has worked to serve Russia's interests and undermine EU efforts to aid Ukraine. Not Hungary's interests, Russia's interest. Keep that in your head. If you're voting for anybody in Hungary, I guess that already happened maybe. Did the vote already happen? No, they said the 12th of April, I think. If you're voting for anybody in Hungary, maybe the guy who's working for Hungary's interest, not Russia's interest. Just an idea. Reuters was unable to independently verify the authenticity of the audio, but Hungary's foreign minister Peter Szijjártó has previously said wiretapping of his phone calls was a huge scandal and Orban had ordered an investigation into it. The release of the recordings comes days before an election, in which Orban, a nationalist often at odds. I don't know how you're a nationalist when you're working for Russia. I feel like you should be called, I don't know what to call that. Like a pretend nationalist. He's pretending he's doing everything for Hungary, but he's doing everything for Russia. Often at odds with Brussels on a range of issues, faces the toughest challenge of his 16-year rule. Is it time? No, they don't have term limits, it seems like, in Hungary, so it's not time. It's actually just somebody from his own party. Independent polls show a pro-EU challenger heading to a victory on... Oh, it's this Sunday. Sorry, it's this Sunday. So if you're living in Hungary and you happen to see this video, please vote for the person who doesn't support Russia. Thank you. Sunday is... What day is Sunday? I need a calendar. Sunday is the 12th. Oh, I was right. It was the 12th. Okay, I remember the time, but I thought the 12th was on like a Wednesday or something. So Sunday, the 12th of April, they will be voting for who will get in power, and it's going to be seen as a turn to whether Budapest is going to shy away from Moscow. I will send it to you. It's not a problem, Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó said in a conversation after Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says Moscow is trying to get a document about the role of minority languages in Ukraine's EU accession talks. Oh. So they're like, maybe if we can say that Russian is a major language in the Ukraine, they'll be barred from joining the EU or something like that. It was not clear what the document in question was and whether it was available in public domain. An Hungarian government spokesperson did not immediately respond to a request for comment yesterday on the 8th of April. There was no immediate comment from the Kremlin. V-Square, which is based in Warsaw, released the audio of another call between Szijjártó and Lavrov in March. The V-Square representative told Reuters at the time that the outlet had independently verified the audio recordings it obtained using sources in more than one country and with the help of external audio experts. The conversation and the 3 audio clips released on the 8th of April have a friendly tone. All the best, my friend, Lavrov says at the end of the conversation about convening at an intergovernmental economic commission in Budapest. Whenever you need anything, I am at your disposal, Szijjártó says. Other conversations detailed in written form concerned preparations for a trip by Orban to Moscow in 2024, when Hungary held the EU rotating presidency, or blocking another raft of EU sanctions on Moscow in 2025 over its invasion of Ukraine. In a third audio clip, Szijjártó asks Lavrov for details about what was discussed at the meeting between President Donald Trump, convicted felon Donald Trump, and Vladimir Putin, dictator Vladimir Putin, in Alaska in 2025. Szijjártó had traveled frequently to Moscow since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. On March 4th, he met Putin to discuss oil supplies, among other issues. In response to the criticism that he is undermining EU efforts to help Ukraine, Orban says he aims to help Hungary out of the war and protect its interests. Well, you're not in a war, Hungary. And you probably never will be. And protect your interest of joining the Russian Federation? Probably. Anyways, I'm a huge... Or I won't say I'm not biased, because I don't like Orban. I don't like anything he's doing, so... Don't look for objectivity from me. I don't have any when it comes to Hungary. Do you want me to keep talking?
No, I'll just do it this way. There once was a Budapest... Ready? There once was a Budapest bureaucrat bureaucrat whose loyalties were not exact, shared intel with Moscow with Orban's know-how, and that's how the elections are fixed, and that's that. Because we can expect Moscow to interfere with the elections because they know how to do it. They've already, I'm sure there's plenty of social media fake stories out there that people can click on and go, oh my God, the opposition is going to turn us into horses or something. Who knows what the hell lies they believe.
And it's so sad that
people can believe anything.
I really feel for the Russians who live in Russia, because they're basically synonymous with being cheaters, whether it be the Olympics or elections, other people's elections even, right? That's what Russians are known for now. Cheating, lying, stealing.
It's easier to con somebody than it is to tell them they've been conned, because they won't believe you. What are you talking about? I'm not stupid.
All right, let's roll our next segue.
My story, I guess. Segue, and I got to do a story instead of all the writing I was doing.
And I'll give you an association.
Remember that band, The Association? They had that song, Everyone Knows It's Windy. All right, let me put this aside. My scribbles is this. Get my glasses off my face so I can read my stories. All right, this day, let's go. Oil companies being sued by the state of New Mexico. This is from sourcenm.com. Jerry Redfern and Capital in Maine. I guess that's just a name of a publishing company or something. Yes, oil companies accused of massive accounting fraud in New Mexico. Oil companies ExxonMobil and Empire Petroleum and their subsidiaries engaged in accounting fraud that could cost the state nearly $200 million. A lawsuit filed in New Mexico District Court alleges the successful plaintiffs say the case could change how all the oil and gas assets are sold, leading to fewer orphan wells in the future. The case stems from the sale of several hundred oil wells from Exxon's subsidiary XTO Energy to Empire Petroleum subsidiary Empire New Mexico in 2021. The suit alleges the fraud occurred when the two companies massively undervalued the debt obligations inherent in the state, and namely the eventual well cleanup clause, which you just can't leave a well. Hey, no, the well. Let's just leave it there, all like junk. Yeah, well, oil companies are famous for doing this, by the way. Violating New Mexico's Fraud Against Taxpayers Act. The plaintiffs claim their undervaluation led Empire Petroleum to take oil wells that would never realistically have the money to plug, immediately making the company insolvent and at risk of bankruptcy. Orphan wells have no known or solvent owner in New Mexico. The state is the final stop for these wells on state and private lands. The federal government is responsible for those on federal land and tribal lands, making it responsible for the expensive plugging and remediation costs. The plaintiffs contend that this was the likely goal of the transaction. In a report released last year, the state's legislative finance said New Mexico is already liable for more than $200 million cleanup costs for the orphan wells in the books. Here's a little bait and switch they're doing, right? You sell your abandoned wells to a company that declares we can't afford to do this cleanup, and they declare themselves insolvent, and that's the end of it. Corporations are killing everything, man. ExxonMobil declined to respond. The Empire Petroleum did not respond to requests for comment for the story. Of course, they leave the wells for the state of New Mexico to clean up at the taxpayers' expense, and they're trying to recoup. Again, $200 million seems a little soft for oil companies that probably just made billions this week on this ridiculous war. XTO is one of the state's top 5 oil and gas producers in 2025. Its parent, ExxonMobil, is the title sponsor of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Oh boy, they're going to use that for leverage, I'm sure. One of the state's biggest tourist draws, Empire New Mexico landed the 60th among oil and gas producers last year. The case was brought by Theron Horton, a forensic data analyst from Taos, New Mexico, and Greg Rogers, a corporate and environmental lawyer from former CPA in Bloomfield, Colorado. They claim it is the first of its kind. It represents a possible precedent of how states and even individuals could possibly prosecute suspect oil and gas well transfers in the future. Instead of relying on state or federal laws governing oil and gas industry operations, the case latches onto accounting violations, switching the argument from oil fuel rules to bookkeeping standards. Again, you created a company or you sold it to a company, you intentionally crashed that company to the ground. You called them insolvent because, oh my God, the cleanup costs are way too much. We can't do it. We're insolvent. And then we sell their assets and bye-bye or whatever. And the state, right? They don't even sell their assets because there's nobody to buy them. And the state has to take possession of all these assets, and there's nobody's job but the environmental engineers of the state. I guess it's good work. Hey, go get yourself a job as an environmental engineer and plugging all these oil wells. There's your story on oil wells. Oil companies just doing their thing, screwing with the environment and not giving a fuck. Pretty much a standard operating procedure. It's in the manual, page one. Page one, rule number one, fuck with the environment and ditch it and go somewhere else and repeat. Rule number two, keep doing this shit. Rule number three, buy politicians. That's oil companies' playbook. It's not a very short playbook. I mean, there's subsets and stuff. Are you ready for the association?
Yes, let's get an association. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, you've already done your associations inside your story.
Well, it's the story. It's the story. It's like this is a nationwide. It's anywhere oil. Well, only cities can make them clean it up, right? Everyplace else is like fuck.
I guess one thing I can associate with this is at first when you started the story, I think I misheard you and I thought you said orphan wells. So I'm like, there's wells of orphans just out there in New Mexico.
They're called orphan wells. Nobody owns them anymore because the stupid company went under. So
and they're just out there polluting the environment, probably. Yeah. Actually, here you go. Here's an associate. This reminds me of when a video game company buys an up and coming like super big company. Like a great example is EA bought BioWare. And then they did nothing with it and they let them go under just to get rid of their competition. That's what that reminds me of. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You buy a company.
That's Amazon over and over.
You buy a company, you don't use any of them, and then they say, oh, sorry, they went bankrupt because we didn't, obviously they made no profit because you didn't use them. You didn't tell them to do anything. They didn't release anything, and then they go under. And then they call bankruptcy, and then they close down, and then you don't have to worry about them as a competition anymore.
And one day you get big enough and rich enough that you can buy a newspaper and shut it down. Jeff. I won't say his last name. Because we're trying to get on his good side. We want to get banned for, the same reason Facebook doesn't like me bad-mouthing, predators.
I'm sure Jeff doesn't care about anything anyone's saying here on Twitch. But, I feel like if you're that rich, you should probably get a backbone and not give a shit about what us little ants are saying on your website. But that's me.
It's tough. He hates Trump as much as the rest of us do, but he's got real business interests in keeping him, afloat or whatever the fuck it is. But again, it still doesn't make it right. Anyway, NPR.org has a story about the elections that happened Tuesday. We're talking about Hungary. Yeah, I only got two stories. Cool. It was shorter. Always in theory. In theory, it is. Democrats keep doing better in elections since Stinky the Clown returned to office. This is from Stephen Fowler at NPR. Democrats keep doing better. And there's a picture of people voting as if you didn't know what it was about. There's people voting. They take pictures of their feet to make sure you know they have feet. People's feet voted in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, it says. After giving Republicans control of the White House in some kind of chicanery that happened in the 2024 election, and nobody's investigated for some reason, voters have continued to swing their support toward the Democratic Party in races held since then. In Tuesday's election, that shift was on display for key races in Wisconsin and Georgia, where results saw a shift of nearly 20 percentage points away from the G-vote margins only, a year and a half ago. Liberals on Wisconsin's Supreme Court expanded their majority to 5-2 after Chris Taylor beat conservative Maria Lazar 60-40. Trump carried the state by less than a point.
Wow.
Yeah, Wisconsin is nominally a swing state. I can tell by all the time candidates spend there. But, man, It's a 60-40 state. It might be time to just reassess. Because again, I think the upper Midwest is really the ones that are really mad at Trump. They're really mad. Even the small towns in Wisconsin are swinging. Taylor's win was even larger than liberal victories in 23 and 25 court races, and officially nonpartisan that attracted national attention and figures like billionaire Elon Musk and a surge in record-setting outside spending. Elon Musk did not get involved in this at all. He just like, fuck it. He just threw in a towel. We're losing. Georgia's 14th congressional district, one of the most conservative in the country, formerly represented by Marjorie Taylor Greene, saw Republican Clay Fuller. That's one of them names. I hear Clay and I think, he's gonna be a right winger. I just hear Clay and I think, oh, he's gonna say something dumb every time he opens his mouth. And this guy fills the bill. You name your kid Clay, you're basically Clay is mud, right? It's all it is really just mud. It's just dirt mud. It's like, well, not dirt mud. It's rock mud, right? It's rock mud. That's all it is. But usually, if your name is Clay, man, your parents they didn't like you, man. They just thought you were dumb. It's like calling your kid Rock. Hey, Rock, come here. You're smart as a rock. Republican Clay Fuller won a special election runoff with 56% of vote. That seems like a romp, doesn't it? Democrat Sean Harris earned 44% after getting less than 36 last time. So he got 8% more. If you bring the other 8% down, Trump, or we could just look at the presidential race and look at that happen. Trump beat Kamala Harris by 40 points in this district. Sean Harris will likely face off against Fuller again in a full term in November, which means probably more voters, and we'll see what happens because there's a senatorial election in Georgia and Democratic Senator John Ossoff re-election campaign, who to me, I think if he wins, and he should, I think he should win. If he wins Georgia, I think Ossoff should run for president. I like the way he talks. I just think his speaking style is conducive to people going, I like that guy. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have a lot of baggage that the others have. And he's not on the APAC train like a lot of these folks. According to the election analysis publication, the down ballot, Democrats have improved upon the 2024 presidential election by an average margin of 11% on special elections so far in 2025 and roughly 13% since the start of 2025. 11% is an average. Wisconsin's Supreme Court race, I'm dropping words here, shows increased support for Democrats is not limited to special elections either, commanding Democratic victories in New Jersey and Virginia elections. Those were not special elections. They were on-cycle elections that were scheduled to happen no matter what. There were trounces. The Virginia one especially, they took over the House with an unveto-proof majority, or whatever you want to call it. And
unveto-proof. Yeah.
Virginia's going to do trying to do what California did and then redistrict right before the election because Texas did it. Ain't fair, but Texas did it, so, well, let's not be fair either. And flipped municipal races across the country continue to highlight how unpopular Republican governance in Washington is with voters. Stinky the Clown faces a record low job rating average, and these people are being kind by putting it in the high 30s. I have not seen any place putting it in the high 30s. Again, they are mincing words, trying to make it's more popular than it really is. He's not in the high 30s. He's in the low 30s. The party in power tends to lose ground in midterm elections, and the 2026 is shaping up likely to be no different. Polls show more voters said they prefer Democrats control of Congress. Democratic voters have higher enthusiasm for voting election, even as the Democratic is also historically unpopular. It's not about the party itself, it's about the candidate who's running, as we kind of always know in this country. I hate that party, but I love my congressman. Happens all the time. So there's your story. And if you're just running anti-Trump, that's just enough to win an election anyway.
Yeah, that's really sad.
63% against. Tell me his popularity is high 30s. No, it's not. His unpopularity is low 60s. That means the people that support him are not against him. That's about all they are. That's it. That's the way I see it. No, if something's unpopular, if something's never been popular, and he's never been popular, it's never been over 50%. If something's that unpopular, you stop counting as popularity. You start counting as unpopularity. Because that's more important. Way more important.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's twice as much almost. It's almost twice as much now. 2-1. If you win elections 2-1, that means that's if the Senate was 2-1 like that, that would be impeachment time. All right, sorry. Let's do the association because I thought
this associates me with something probably political scientists can always tell you about, right? Which is like the red wave versus the blue wave and that kind of thing, right? It's the only difference now is, of course, we're getting more extreme every time it happens. So instead of it being like, oh, you know, right people are getting all the votes, and then it goes to the left. Now it's going like extreme right people are getting all the votes, extreme left people are getting all the votes. I think is the maybe the prediction from some people. I know that's what happened here because we have an actual leftist in power here in the Netherlands after they went all the way right to, you know, anti-immigrants. So.
Well, I gave you a
Sometimes
cheer, so I
like
guess
that.
we'll spin the wheel. I don't.
You've talked enough about this,
They call it, they call it the pendulum. They call it like it's an actual thing, the pendulum. It's like, oh my God, they went too far that way this time. And I'm like, no, man, I don't think that pendulum ever swung back to the left since about 1976.
I mean, in the U.S., leftism doesn't exist, so it's not really a thing.
Yeah, Bill Clinton had to go to the right to get elected a second time, and he went way to the right in his second term. He really did. And I didn't like his second term. He was terrible.
Our next segue is also associate. Do you want me to re-roll, or do you want to just do associate
re-roll,
too?
Because
Okay.
associate. No, do associate because I got to.
Oh, okay. Then I'm gonna keep it.
My erase card. That way I'll be. Yeah.
All you have to do is listen and write at the same time. Good luck.
I don't have that much to do. It's just.
My next story is coming out of the Netherlands. Speaking of the Netherlands, in which on NOS News, a prison sentence in psychiatric detention is demanded for a major sextortion case. This is also coming from Remco Andringa, police and justice editor. In yet another major sextortion case, the Public Prosecution Service today demanded a 9-year prison sentence and compulsory psychiatric treatment. In response to the case, the police are launching an online campaign to let potential victims know that help is available for them. A 22-year-old higher professional education student from Spijkenisse is suspected of blackmailing nearly 60 girls with nude images. He appeared in court in Dordrecht today. Was that actually today? Yeah, no, it was yesterday. He appeared in court yesterday on the 8th of April. The charges also include online rape and the production of child pornography. As in other recent major extortion cases, the suspect also forced his victims to take photos and videos of themselves. The girls were between 13 and 20 children, and they made contact with the subject via Snapchat. Uh-oh, another strike against Snapchat. Uninstall it from your phone, guys. Just predators on there, especially if you're under 18. Damien D. threatened to make their image and personal data public if they did not do what he ordered. For instance, victims were forced to perform sexual acts, even if they were at school at the time. He also made them write his nickname, Turpian, on their bodies or on signs that they had to hold in front of their naked bodies. According to the police, his orders became increasingly extreme and sadistic. If they did not immediately do what he demanded, their images were posted online and distributed among family and friends. The suspect also sold photos in private groups on Telegram where he shared their personal details. A striking feature of this case is that almost all the victims are from abroad. In the total, 57 girls have been identified, and only one of them lives in the Netherlands. The others are largely from the US, but also from Germany, Montenegro, for example. Video footage of a dozen of, as of yet, I guess that makes sense, because maybe they thought they wouldn't be supported in the Netherlands, but it is actually a crime. Reminder, the Netherlands is a country that has legal prostitution, right? So if somebody's extorting your images, just go to the police and tell them, hey, someone's extorting my images.
Right.
And if he releases the images, guess what? You got proof. Right there. Of course, that's easy for me to say as a grown adult, you know, I don't care if somebody saw me naked. Go ahead, dude, release it. I'll release them myself, thank you. Put a price tag. If you're gonna blackmail me, I'll just release them myself. But the point is, right, you have protections in this country at least against that kind of stuff. So I guess it makes sense why he specifically targeted foreigners who didn't know any better about the law, right? Nobody goes to law school when you move to a new country. Terrible. Video footage of a dozen of as yet unknown girls were also found in the suspect's possession. The police therefore take into account the possibility that D has victimized many more than 57 girls. The discovery has prompted an online campaign launching on Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook. We want to let any other potential victims of Turpian know that he has been arrested and that they are no longer need to worry and that help is available. And also, would you like to join in the court case on the number of victims so you can get his punishment higher and higher, right? The more victims, the more you'll be like, you abused hundreds of girls, probably, says Milo van der Kolk of the sexual crimes team at the Rotterdam police. Oh, not the Rotterdam police. Those guys are hardliners. Her team investigated the case following a tip about the suspect from the American Investigation Service. The suspect from Spijkenisse was arrested just over a year ago. So they've only revealed all of this event to the public now. Victims who could be identified were subsequently informed of the arrest. According to the Public Prosecution Service, some of them were so desperate due to the extortion and humiliation, they wanted to take their own lives. Another thing to put on this guy's court case. With the online campaign, the police also aim to reach the as yet unknown victims. According to the police, it is the first time a campaign has been launched using the exact username of a suspect. Images of the sign that the victims were forced to wear have been recreated in a short video. The videos are aimed at both victims of sextortion and their parents. We hope that parents will seize upon a case like Turpian to make the subject open for discussion, says Van der Kolk. She hopes that every victim of online blackmail dares to take the step to come forward. They often feel alone, and the guilt and shame are immense. The number of extortion cases has been increasingly rapid in recent years. Last year, the police registered nearly 3,100 online sexual offenses, of which extortion is a form. There are often dozens, sometimes even hundreds of victims per case. In court today, Damien D. confessed that he extorted dozens of girls. I didn't think about the consequences, he said. That you can hurt people. Yeah, he just cared about the control. He just wanted to control people. Hey, I can control people by blackmailing them. No,
put a bullet in his head.
Yeah, people who do these kind of crimes do not think about the consequences because they don't think they're gonna get caught. His modus operandi is reminiscent of that of suspects in the so-called com milieu, where victims are incited to extreme sadistic violence against themselves or others. A manual for extortion using nude images circulates in these online groups, which, according to Public Prosecution Service, D may have also used. Experts recommend imposing a TBS treatment order with compulsory hospitalization on the 22-year-old student from Spijkenisse. The Public Prosecution Service believes that he should also serve a long prison sentence. The court will deliver its verdict shortly. A TBS treatment order. What does a TBS mean? Let me put this back in Dutch real quick.
TBS, that's the Turner Broadcasting System. It used to be owned by Ted Turner.
Advise.
Played the Atlanta Braves game.
TBS meant dwang verlieping. Let me look up what that actually is because I'm not sure.
Then he started CNN, Ted Turner.
I don't think that's what it's about either. I just want to understand.
TBS is
I don't know.
still a thing.
I don't know law terms in Dutch. You know, so I didn't study law in Dutch. So I don't know what these things mean usually. Well, this is not the right. I need to find the right window. There it is. I have like a translator open. Yeah, give me your association while I look up what the hell this means.
Well, I associate this with basically what we've been talking about for weeks and weeks is all these social media giants need to stop letting this shit happen, man. Or here you do, you give them a death penalty, like you get on Facebook just for saying anything, right? Oh no, you know. No, you don't get to operate in our country. Sorry, you don't get it. So sorry.
There's something really weird, yeah. I can't really find what this means.
Oh, it doesn't matter anymore, does it?
Yeah, I'm just curious I'm curious what the TBS is. Like what they're like advising what kind of punishment. But I don't know. I don't know what TBS means, but I guess the idea is he's gonna be strapped up in a room, hospitalized in some sort of psychiatric ward because he's mentally unstable. I guess.
I found what it is. TBS, is that a Dutch term? You said? I think it's a Dutch term for.
Yeah.
You have him. You take him and you lock him in a phone booth with a badger that's high in angel dust. That's what TBS is. That's the punishment.
I don't think that's it.
I look at it right here. It's right here in my Dutch law book.
I think what it sounds like is that they're going towards this guy's crazy, and he's going off on being crazy. He's getting locked up for being crazy, not locked up for committing sex crimes, I guess. Is what they're saying.
Whatever, man. Whatever. So, I guess. I don't know. I don't care what happens to the guy. They should put him on a boat.
It's because in a lot of European countries, they believe in not restitution. What's the word for it? No.
Prostitution. They believe in prostitution. That's
they believe this kind of action is a pathological disorder, so they think they need to make sure that they check out your brain. They give you a therapist, a psychologist, so that you don't do it again. I can't think of the word now, but it's, when you help people get better, they want to help them get better because obviously something's wrong with them. They did the action to begin with. I mean, I believe in it too. I do believe people deserve a second chance.
Dictionary, I don't know what you want
I don't believe in capital punishment, so.
Redemption, something like that. Redemption, that's the word I would use. Redemption. Can he be redeemed? That's the word you're looking for. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you think there's another one.
I'm rolling the segue.
Redemption, right? Oh, okay.
Our next segue is haiku for this Thursday's 13 list.
Redemption. That's the word, right? No?
Mm-hmm. I agreed with you.
Okay. All right. So what we got here is the world's most expensive city. I did a couple weeks ago. I did the most affordable cities, which was more like based on what you made and what you can afford to pay for rent. But this is more of a world city thing because if you're like me, you're a world traveler and you want to go someplace you can afford. And I found, and just looking at this in my readjusted list that we were talking about before, I had to adjust it because the top 6 were in Switzerland. Mm-hmm. I haven't been to every city in the world or in every world city, but out of the 14 cities I found on the list, there's 14, not 13. I've been to 8 of them. That's amazing, isn't it? No wonder I'm not always broke. I always go to the most expensive cities. The number 1 city is nominally Basel, Switzerland.
Yeah, Basel. Fun fact, the actual capital of Switzerland. Because people think it's Geneva, but it's Basel.
Bern is actually.
It's Bern. Oh, sorry.
Zurich, Bern, yeah, Zurich, Bern, Lausanne, and the 5th one. The other one is Geneva, also on the list. So all of the top 5 are friggin' Switzerland. They're all Switzerland. So Switzerland, if you go there, bring money. You ain't getting no bargains. Maybe sleep in your vehicle or I don't know, side of the road. Find a campsite. We didn't find one. Where did we stay? I don't remember. We stayed in Geneva. Next time I'm there, I'm going on my bike, I think, and maybe just camp somewhere. Although climbing mountains on a bike sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Number 2 is it's the European city also, I don't know how to pronounce it in Norwegian because they always got them umlauts or whatever. It's in Norway, Stavanger, Norway, I think it's called. Stavanger, Norway, the second most, at least the non-Swiss city, the most expensive non-Swiss city in the world. Again, I want to just go ahead and say it's because of the high price of housing, high price of hotels, high price of everything, and probably everybody there makes a pretty good living, right? High standard of living a lot of times means that visitors are going to be paying a premium for just about everything, because you know what? A lot of people, like if you go to California and you're from Mississippi, you're going to like, oh my God, how can you afford to live here in California? It's ridiculous. And in California, it's like, I make $75,000 a year for the job that pays you $25. That's how. And they go, oh wow, and I can't afford anything in my little town. Yeah, isn't that interesting? But yeah. It's not about affordability for the citizens. The citizens of this country can probably afford it just fine. But in Norway, if you're visiting, bring money. Same with Switzerland. I've been to this country also, so it just makes 9. Reykjavik, Iceland. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Reykjavik.
Iceland.
Reykjavik.
So that's actually 9 I've been to. I counted because I had to land there a couple of times at the airport. That counts for me. That counts because really I've seen the whole country from the air. It's not that big. So that one, again, I can understand it. Land's at a premium, and I'm sure drinking water's at a premium. Supplies of all kinds are at a premium. So it's going to cost you a little bit to get, say, some non-Icelandic food. Seafood's probably cheap. Probably live on seafood. But Iceland, again, one of the places that you kind of want to explore because of all the volcanoes. It's dangerous, but they have hot springs and all kinds of cool stuff there. Usually volcanic. Iceland, but very expensive. Number 4 is also in Norway, Oslo. If one town in Norway is expensive, the capital city is going to be expensive. Oslo is a major port, and it's also very expensive. So, and of course, you work as a seaman or anything, a longshoreman, you make good money. And so they can support it. But if you're visiting, again, bring extra money. Number 5, and this is no surprise to me, having been there numerous times, New York City. New York, they included, in this list, well, by the way, the list is from, let's do it. This is from www.thetop20.com, the top 20 of everything they decided to look up and rank. So I cheated and had their list. So I don't know their methodology. I'm just letting you know they cheated a little because they listed Manhattan as New York, and then later in the list they put in Brooklyn, which New York is also Brooklyn. You should have called New York Manhattan if you're going to differentiate between the two. I combined them together. Put them at number 5, New York. No surprise, it's very expensive, limited real estate. And every time there's a poor neighborhood, what happens? They tear down the poor people's houses and they put up gentrification. Gentrification has made places like Brooklyn really expensive to live in. That's why it's on the list. Number 6, Bergen, Norway. We're back in Norway. I guess I could have lumped Norway in there, but I didn't know how to do it. Bergen, Norway, again, we're going to say people there make enough money to live there, so they're not complaining. Then we're going to number 7, Trondheim, Norway, another place in Norway. So again, I could have just lumped Norway in here, and so I could fit. This is why I made my list at least one city longer at the end. Number 8, we're back to the United States. After all the Europeans, we're gonna settle on the land of the red, white, and blue and the contradictions. The United States. Honolulu, very expensive, of course, limited real estate and desirable climate for a lot of people. No surprise, really. Very, very expensive place to visit, unless you know somebody there that has a house or something. And right now, by the way, we may cover this tomorrow. Honolulu, Hawaii, and the whole area getting ready for more flooding because it just don't stop raining. I wonder what the yearly rainfall is in Honolulu. Well, anyway, it's probably not getting cheaper now either. Number 9 is a place I live right by. DC, Washington, DC. Yes, I've been there, 80 gazillion times. Very expensive. city to get around in, I suppose. I don't see how it, to myself and my budget, I can get around in DC fine. You can get around in a metro. You don't have to pay for transportation. Hotel rooms are another story. But as a visitor, I would say probably kind of pricey. I would definitely say kind of pricey. Although the zoo is free, the Smithsonian is free, the museums, most of the museums, just walk right in, you know, metal detector and just go do your thing.
Yeah.
Metal detectors in DC, unfortunately, have been, of course, if you're in London, you know, they've always been a thing in your entire life. Number 10, San Francisco. And you know, the song says, if you're going to San Francisco, be sure to bring lots of money because it costs a lot to visit anything there. I don't know how San Francisco is less expensive than DC. I would think it's the other way around, but I'm not making the list, and I don't know what the criteria is necessarily, but I know San Francisco is damn expensive. I've been there, and it's, you know, just that whole area kind of is. Number 11 is a place we went to. It's not only one of the we've both been to. Not only is it one of the most expensive places to visit in the world, it's a place with almost no unemployment, and it is the richest country in the world, Luxembourg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Free transportation.
Yep. Yeah. We loved it. Loved Luxembourg. I almost ordered horse there. That's all I can really tell you. We had to walk. We walked from the hotel down a hill. Did a lot of walking, and I think it was about to rain or something. And we stopped at that restaurant at the bottom of the hill and they had horse, and I chickened out. I horsed out, and I ordered. I
got octopus.
I figured, nice. What? It's one of my weird stories for next week is about octopus or octopi. Number 12, another city I've been to, although briefly, in the Marine Corps, I waited between flights. Tokyo. I've been to Tokyo a couple times. Tokyo, yes, very expensive to live there. I can concur. That definitely very expensive. Probably never, always has been expensive as far as my lifetime has been concerned. So Tokyo, very, 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 very populated, very densely populated. You're going to have limited resources in a lot of things, and they depend on imports for a lot of stuff. So Tokyo, very expensive city. And number 13, another city we both went to race bikes with everybody. Copenhagen, Denmark. One of your more expensive cities in the world. Again, we can pick cities to stay in, can't we? And that's number 13 on the list. Again, look at the cities on it. Number 14 is Paris. And the reason Paris is on there because it's three Norway cities. So Paris, yeah.
Oh,
Paris
okay.
is on the list. So how many cities were on our trip that we stayed in? We stayed in Paris, we stayed in Copenhagen. We stayed 2 nights in Paris, Copenhagen.
Frankfurt,
right?
Hamburg,
right?
Berlin, none of those are on there, I guess. Luxembourg's on there. Geneva's on there.
Yeah, Geneva's is in the top 5, right? It's in there, right? New York, we stayed in, right? We stayed there.
That's
Not in the
true.
same trip, but we stayed there. We didn't make it to Oslo. Maybe next time. DC, you've definitely been there a bunch of times.
Yeah, I wanted to try doing that.
Yeah,
But that
so
would have
Luxembourg-
added like another week, I think, to our journey because you have to come back too once you get to your destination.
Yeah, so 4 cities are on our itinerary in 5 nights. Did we say 2 nights in? So 6 nights. We stayed 2 nights in
2 nights in
Copenhagen
Paris,
and
2 nights in Berlin. We didn't stay 2 nights in
Germany
Copenhagen.
is cheap. Germany was.
Yeah.
Oh, by
That's why a lot of
far,
people move
Germany
there.
was the cheapest place
Yeah.
we stayed in. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. On our trip, I had to buy clothes. I bought this shirt in Germany. I bought this shirt in Berlin. Why? It was cheap. It was cheap, way cheaper than everywhere else to buy food. We bought you a new phone in Berlin. Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, I still have it.
Everything we bought, Berlin has got to be way down the list because it was way cheaper than Paris, for instance. Yeah. I don't know if it's changed. But that's my list. Let's have a...
All right, our haiku.
Haiku.
Golden
time.
spires rising, Paris, London, Zurich gleam. Dreams traded for gold. Why live here when you can just make a lot? I know a lot of people who didn't live in Zurich but made a lot of money in Zurich. They would fly a plane every day to go to their job in Zurich.
Wow.
And then fly
That's
back
crazy,
home.
right?
Yeah.
If you can
Lots
make
of
that
people do
kind
that.
of money.
If you live near an airport,
I was
it's
paying for two-
even easier.
I was paying for 2 homes. I was paying for 2 homes from 2016
Two?
until just last year. I was paying for 2 homes. I was paying to live out in Oregon. I was paying here. Before that, I was paying Eastern Shore.
Well, to
paying
be fair,
here.
that was
And before
rent,
that, I
right?
was paying
So-
in Oklahoma. I'm paying here. It's rent. It's still two total.
which is
two
expensive,
total
more
households.
expensive than a mortgage.
Rent, utilities,
In some
and,
cases,
the other
yeah.
associated
The other-
things
that
you gotta
other
pay
stuff.
for 'cause you have the others, right? Utilities are big, right? Your electricity, your cable, your Wi-Fi, that kind of crap.
Okay,
Some
let's
places gas.
roll the next segue.
I'll never do that again. I'll never have gas in my house. I can't stand the smell of gas.
I mean, that's the point,
All
so
right,
you know
let's
it's
spin
there.
the wheels. The wheels.
You definitely don't want to miss your
Yeah, but I'm
gas.
just saying.
Also, do you have a video for me?
I don't want
Now that your
toxic.
list is
I will get.
done?
Yes, I will have a video in a minute, but I have to do it during your story. So.
Okay,
I'll
our
have
next segue is a mixed metaphor.
Mhm.
And we're going to go into my culture news here. Coming out of... Where is this coming out of? Chicago! It's from Anushka Roy in AP on Euronews Culture. A music fan from Chicago taped thousands of concerts over 4 decades. These recordings are now being uploaded to an online archive that can be freely accessed. In the summer of 1989 in Chicago, a music fan, Adam Jacobs, starts to record a live concert with a small Sony cassette recorder in his pocket. The gig is a fledgling rock band's debut show at the small club called Dreamers. Before they start playing, the band's lead singer announces to the crowd, "Hello, we're Nirvana. We're from Seattle." This early tape of the global rock sensation Nirvana, over 2 years before they released their celebrated second album, Nevermind, is one of the more 10,000 concerts recorded by Jacobs. Now, volunteers in the US and across Europe are organizing, digitizing, and uploading these tapes onto the Adam Jacobs collection, hosted on the nonprofit online repository Internet Archive. The tapes were recorded over 4 decades and document musical apps from the 1980s through to the early 2000s, from REM and The Cure to Tracy Chapman. Jacobs' collection is a treasure trove of early career performances from celebrated artists and hidden gems from smaller musicians. After filmmaker Caitlin Schneider's 23 documentary about Jacobs titled Melomaniac, aptly named after someone afflicted with music mania, a volunteer from the Internet Archive reached out to him, asking if he would like to preserve his collection. And before the tape started not working because of time, just disintegrating, I finally said yes, Jacobs said. Jacobs began this labor of love in 1984, recording a concert on a dictaphone-type device that he borrowed from his grandfather. As a teenager who would tape songs off the radio, Jacob recalls how someone suggested an alternative. "I eventually met a fellow who said, 'You can just take a tape recorder into a show with you, just sneak it in, record the show.' And I thought, wow, that's so cool. So I got started." He purchased a Sony Walkman style recorder soon after. "I was using at the time pretty lackluster equipment, simply because I had no money to buy anything better," he said. Later, Jacobs moved on to digital audio tape and solid-state digital recorders. Today, digitizing and archiving the numerous boxes of Jacobs tapes is a work in progress. Once a month, Brian Emmerich, who is tasked with transferring the analog recordings to digital files, travels to Jacobs' house and picks up 10 to 20 boxes, each containing between 50 to 100 tapes. The digital files Emmerich produces are sent to volunteers who mix and master the recordings before they are uploaded to the online collection. Emmerich has digitized at least 5,500 tapes since late 24. Halfway done! As for copyright concerns, Jacobs said that most artists are glad to have their work preserved, but he's happy to remove recordings if requested, though only 1 or 2 musicians have asked for that till date. Name them now! Name and shame. Fuck you. Oh, we're not gonna get 2 cents from this really shitty recording of our concert from 1987. Shut up. It's not even them, right? It's the record companies.
Right.
Oh, we're losing money. We're not going to make money off of something that we didn't know existed. David Nimmer, a copyright attorney who also teaches at the University of California, Los Angeles, said that artists own their live recordings and original compositions under anti-bootlegging laws. But lawsuits seem unlikely as neither Jacobs nor the archive is profiting off of them. Many of Jacobs' recordings are impressive quality, which came as a happy surprise to volunteer engineers like Neil DeMouse, considering Jacob was not using top-of-the-line recording equipment. Aha, that's because it's all a scam, guys. It's all a scam. They sell you on the brand. Oh yeah, you need to buy this special branded microphone. It's gonna sound amazing. It's like, I can record that same thing with my freaking phone. You're not special. Especially after the first couple of years. He's got it so dialed in that some of these recordings on like crappy little cassette tapes from the early 90s sound incredible, DeMouse said. As the Adam Jacobs collection is slowly and painstakingly being pieced together, the melomaniacs around the world can indulge in these time capsules, spanning 4 decades of musical experimentation and refinement. So celebrate! Celebrate history! Live show history.
Right
And I got your video.
Got my video, all right. It's about a movie you may not have remembered. Okay. So you're saying he made recordings of all the concerts he went to
In
right?
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it's he's made little time capsules of events that even people who were there don't remember. There's your metaphor.
I mean, especially the artists, right? You do so many shows throughout your lifetime. You're not going to remember that one you did in 1987. You know, you think Dave Grohl's sitting there going like, oh yeah, I remember Nirvana, 1987.
Right, yeah.
In Chicago.
Bands
Yeah, I
that
remember
don't
that
care.
show. Maybe.
You know, the Grateful
Maybe
Dead don't care. The Grateful Dead never cared if you recorded their concert. Pearl Jam never cared. In fact, Pearl Jam got ahead of it by just releasing album after album of concert videos. Fuck it, here you go. Here's another one. They did it over and over again. You can buy probably
They capitalized on it,
vintage
sure.
now. See, I'm just saying those are probably worth a lot now too, right? The old concert that they did. They probably do LPs. They probably did CDs though. Yeah, let's just record all our concerts and release them. That way we're screw it, you know. You can make your own. We don't care, but you can buy the one that was professionally done and edited and so forth. That's my stupid little metaphor that isn't even a metaphor anymore.
I mean, that's what I like about, that's what I really enjoy about just people taking advantage of, we're in the digital age now, and just like, why aren't you just releasing this stuff for, people want to see it, so instead of like, oh no.
Not that I want to call attention to it, but I recorded, I went to, me and Melanie went to a Paramore concert. I recorded 3 songs, and I put them all on YouTube, and they're all still there. I mean, it's been years. They're all still there. Paramore don't care. I don't think they do. It isn't like I changed the title of the song or anything.
I mean, you even titled them so people can find it, so that's really useful too.
I know I'm not getting any money from it, but I just figured, you know, hey, I got these out there, and
the original intention of
they just stayed on my phone.
The original intention of the internet was to share stuff, so.
The original intent was to see how good I could record a concert, actually, and that was actually not too bad. You know, I don't.
Well, today was BTS's first concert since they left for their military service, and they actually. Yeah, and they actually live streamed the whole thing because they already know people are going to live stream it, so they might as well just do it themselves. It's just like, it's really just not a big deal. Provide stuff for people because they're going to give you, they want to see it.
Yeah, it depends. It's who it is and how greedy they are, and if they think they're missing out on $1 somewhere, you know, oh shit, there's $1 to get away from me. Oh, better hire a team of lawyers. Even though the lawyers are going to cost more.
And I'm pretty sure, like,
anyway, I mean,
artists aren't making the money from this stuff anyways.
What Don Henley ended up doing was settling with a lot of these reactors type people, right? They just started settling with them, going, yeah, I get all the money and you can play my shit. I won't bring your channel down. Of course you get all the money. Why wouldn't you get all the money? You know, I mean, nobody's asking you not to get all the money, but it's shitty to make them take their stuff down.
Our next segue is non sequitur for this day in history.
Sequitur right there. Yeah, and although I would pass my, what did you get? Non sequitur, huh? All right. If you get those videos, I'm surprised. Maybe my phone had destabilization on it, but actually, for an old man, I was able to hold my phone in the air for 3 songs, and they were consecutive songs too.
Yeah.
I was saving my battery power and my memory for towards the end if I was going to record anything. No, because you don't want your phone to die right there.
I mean, they also play the big. They always play the big hits at the end, anyways, right? So.
And they had the guitar. One of the guitarists sang the song as one of them, so she wasn't even a singer. One of them.
Oh, really?
Cool. Yeah. April 9th, 19 in the year. Well, let's go way back. I'm not going to start in the 20th century. We go forward in the march of time. That's what we do. 1388, the Battle of Naples culminated. Speaking of the Swiss, this is where the really expensive stuff started, I'm sure. The Battle of the Naples culminated in a major victory of the Swiss Confederation in the first century of struggle of self-determination against the Habsburg overlordship. You Habsburgs, go straight to hell. In 1682, René Robert Cavalier Sierra de La Salle, LaSalle, they call him in the States, claimed the Mississippi River basin for France, naming it Louisiana. Yeah, that basin where it all empties into the Gulf of Mexico. Louisiana, named after Louis, whatever Louis they had that year, Louis the 92nd or whatever the hell they were going through. 1865, General Robert E. Lee, the guy with the really cool uniform who was kind of overrated as a general, and I keep saying this to people, if he was so overrated, why didn't he win? I mean, he's so great, why didn't he win? He had the, you know, he had all the freaking Confederate states behind him, right? Yeah, he should have won. Nah, he was lousy. Anyway, this is the day he surrendered to the real general, General Grant. He signed a treaty of surrender at Appomattox Courthouse, effectively ending the American Civil War. And they show, why is it only General Lee mentioned in this, not General Grant? Why don't they just go on here? Hey, General Grant finally and completely kicked his ass in humiliation, and he decided to let his foot off his throat, which they probably should have never done. 1898, Paul Robeson was born in Princeton, New Jersey, a celebrated singer, celebrated singer, actor, and political activist, is one of the preeminent figures of American theater of the 20th century. He was a tall black man that could sing. So Paul Robeson, one of your civil rights heroes of the early struggles of the 20th century. 1939, contralto Maria Anderson, speaking of civil rights, gave a concert, an Easter Sunday crowd of 75,000 at the Lincoln Memorial after the Daughters of the American Revolution, a bunch of racist assholes, refused to allow her to sing at a Constitution Hall in Washington because her skin wasn't the right color. Yeah, America. Daughters of the American Revolution. If they ever come to you wanting money, tell them to go. Well, you know where to tell them to go. 1963. If you're even a member of that organization, shame on you. It should be dissolved. What a bunch of pieces of garbage. 1963, an act of Congress conferred honorary U.S. citizenship to Sir Winston Churchill. 1963. He was really old by then. Wow. Wasn't he? Holy smokes. Was he even around in 1963? He had to be really old. 2001, American Airlines officially completed its acquisition of Transworld Airlines and became the world's largest airline. Just in time to crash 2 planes. Later that year, 2 were American Airlines planes, unfortunately. So TWA stopped being a thing in 2001. 2003, Baghdad fell to U.S.-led forces, a pointless war. one of our many pointless wars due to his regime's supposed possessions of weapons of mass destruction. Whole lot of death and destruction over absolutely nothing. 2005, Charles, Prince of Wales, married Camilla Parker Bowles. Yeah, they would become the king and queen of Britain nearly 2 decades later. Charles should have never married Diana. Should have just left her alone. I don't know what that was about. I guess I'll watch that at some point. Finish watching The Crown and try to figure out what the hell went on there. Our featured event today in history in 1965, the Astrodome, the historic opening night of the Houston Astros baseball team, named after astronauts, of course, because Houston Space Center is there. The first Major League Baseball game ever played indoors, beating the New York Yankees. The newly opened Astrodome in Houston, Texas on this day in 1966. I'm trying to figure out why they were playing the Yankees, because it must have been an exhibition, because they were American League, National League, did not play each other, unless it's the World Series. The idea of the world's first air-conditioned indoor stadium is credited with Roy Mark Hines, Houston's mayor from 1953 to 1955. He decided that its hot and humid city needed a comfortable setting for watching sports, and the result was the 8th wonder of the world. That's what the nickname was of the Astrodome. Just so you know, the Astrodome was first baseball game was played. It had to be an exhibition because the Yankees were not in the National League. Jorn Utsen's birthday. Jorn Utzen, Danish architect. It's showing the Opera House in Sydney. So I'm thinking that he's designed that. He was born this day in 1918 in Copenhagen. He died there also at the age of 90 in 2008. Few other birthdays today. Charles Baudelaire, French author. Born in 1820. 1830 is the birthday of Adelard Muybridge, British photographer. 1835 is the birthday of Leopold II, King of Belgium. 1936 is the 100th birthday of old Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner, if he was still around, and Viagra, probably he took so much Viagra in his old age, he's probably still, never mind. And he turning 100 today. Happy birthday, Hugh Hefner, the founder of Playboy magazine, if you don't know who that is. 1954, Ian Duncan Smith, British politician, was born. So he's only 72. That's young by Hugh Hefner standards. He's a spring
I guess so.
chicken. And speaking of chickens, it's National Chicken Little Awareness Day. Also National Unicorn Day. And let's see, National Unicorn Day. Unicorn's a theoretical animal, but some people see them. I don't know. I haven't seen one. National Alcohol Screening Day. Yeah, we definitely don't. Alcohol screening you for alcohol, I guess. National Former Prisoner of War Recognition Day. Not present prisoner of war. We don't want none of your mess. Give me your fucking problems, present day prisoners of war. It's them former ones we only care about today. I like how they section out there, right? They appreciate people. I love it. National Chinese Almond Cookie Day. Those are the kinds that don't have your fortune. They're not mostly air, like fortune cookies are. Just a thing of air. National Chinese Almond Cookie Day. So those are your days, your mispronunciations, everything else. Your haikus, limericks. For, oh my goodness, April 9th, 2026, on before Chinese almond cookies. Are you there?
I was drinking my tea.
There?
I finished it.
Oh, I got you.
I was in the middle of my gulp,
Gotcha.
and I was like, oh God, it's over.
Yeah, Thursday hit me kind of hard today. I had to run to the post office first thing today. Let's have us,
I mean, thank you for the non sequitur. I've never been to the post office by myself.
Never been to the post office?
Yeah, this reminds me of a conversation I had yesterday. Somebody else was going to the post office to pick up a package or something. We don't really have post offices here, right? All of our delivery, like to pick up your mail, is inside like a store, like a grocery store. But we don't have like a specific building that has like P.O. boxes and a post office and that kind of stuff. So And the only thing, whenever I think of a post office, I think of waiting for Mom to come out, right? She'd be like, stay here, I need to go get something at the post office. And I'd be in the car, just like staring at the clouds, being like, oh, this is taking forever. What is she doing in there? And it's just a really long line. It's just a really long line.
Oh. Yeah, I just, okay, that's your
non sequitur.
I guess I gotta give you some applause. Applause for non sequitur. Here we go. Yikes.
No United Nations observances today, or actually for the rest of the week, except for Sunday. So this has been Allison here from the Netherlands. Roger from... Huh? You're telling me what?
My trip to the post office, I had duck crossing in front of me, right? Duck,
crossing.
Male, female, mallard. Yeah, a male and female mallard, wild ducks. Just, hey, I'm gonna cross here, so I just stopped completely. And then on the way back, I almost hit three different squirrels. I'm like, I don't want to hit squirrels.
It's springtime, man.
Anyway,
you're awake. Yeah.
It's just that time of day for them to cross the road.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This has also been Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. with his animal fiasco, and we will see you tomorrow for our Friday news dump, in which we will give you all the news you need to hear about before the weekend, so you don't have to worry about it. No doom scrolling on the weekend. So don't forget to subscribe to the Before Coffee podcast channel. We need more subscribers on there so that we get pushed onto the algorithm and more people can see our anti-AI news. Thank you everyone who was here, who's already following, already subscribed. Don't forget to turn those notifications on so you know when we go live or post a video. And of course, always appreciating our Before Coffee supporters on Patreon. Here it's our short mic drop moment. Short for multiple reasons.
All right.
It's a trailer.
It doesn't look like
it's about a chicken.
He's in there.
Maybe that's called Chicken Little.
Wait. What's that?
Yeah, but we had to refresh our memory on what it was about, right?
With legs?
That's him!
He's trying to get away. Take him!
Is he the one who...
the sky was falling?
Or did you know he was an acorn?
What does your father think of
this? No comment. Look, over there!
Oh, they blurred. Wait, they didn't get permission to show him on the news, but they blurred out the other...
Chicken Little, your action caused widespread panic, and subsequently you were blamed and humiliated in front of your
head.
your father, and everyone you know and love.
Was there a question in there?
Chicken
yeah, it sounded like a leading statement. Yeah.
One final question. Do you think you'll ever get to live this down?
Yes, I will. Because I believe
he's
in
right at the end of
chances.
the
And I will rise again like the mighty phoenix, and soon everyone will forget. It's not like they're making a movie about it.
Uh-oh. I guess they did make a movie
It was
about
a simple mistake. People, please, I'm
They missed the
begging you,
golden
let it
opportunity
go.
to crossbreed this Stuart Little.
A movie?
Stuart Little, Chicken Little.
The book on tape
Could have been a collab, man. Maybe they can still do that in Fortnite or something. Probably.
Yeah, Stuart Little's a mouse, right? Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.